Yeah, Daryl, and this appears to be the center of the investigation here. If you take a look down this way, you can see that there's still a section blocked off with police tape here, and several officers with MPD and the ATF are here on scene. Also, MPD's Central Command Unit is also down this way. Now, we can't get too close now because of these barricades that police put up about an hour ago, but throughout the day, we watched as this memorial over here just grew in size. To give you an idea of just how strong those winds are, take a look at this fire station right here. The roof completely blown off, and then if you follow us this way, you can see parts of it blew as far as across the street. But tonight, those big questions still remain. Who left this baby alone and why? He said it all happened right here in this driveway, and over this way you can even see a bullet hole straight through the window. Although he was severely injured, police records say after Officer Acosta was shot, he was able to drive himself to a safe location. And of course, this is a very tragic incident that happened here this afternoon. Just within the past few minutes, Germantown police have confirmed with us a 4-year-old was shot to death. They're understandably very shaken up about this. If you take a look, you can see there's still police tape lining this house on Gore Avenue. And over this way, just a few minutes ago, we saw some people, including a child who was in tears, that came by and placed that light and those bears on this mailbox here. From your tires to your battery to your AC, your car can really take a beating, but you don't have to be a car expert to protect it from the heat. If your AC starts going out, the first thing you can do is check your coolant levels, and you can find that in this white plastic container next to your radiator. Damian Eccles and his attorney said they are very disappointed in this decision, but they said their fight is not over, and they said they're going to continue to do what they can to get that DNA tested. Feel like a free man right now?
Some days. Some days yes, some days no.
Boxtown is probably the oldest community in the city. I've lived in Boxtown all of my life. It's a beautiful place.
For Bastel Booker, Boxtown is home.
We love our neighborhood. We take care of each other. We're a close-knit neighborhood.
It's that tight-knit family feel Booker said makes his community so very special. His family has been here for generations, and his children grew up here.
We're children standing on top of our father's shoulders. It's a continual recycle of the same people.
Walking the familiar streets with neighbors that have turned into family is a weekly tradition, but you won't see them outside without a mask.
We're protecting ourselves from the air quality, the chemicals in the air, and some of us have allergies.
The low-income community founded by former slaves is plagued by pollution. The Valero oil refinery, which over the years was part of a $4.25 million penalty over pollution. The TVA Allen fossil plant now shut down and replaced by a natural gas plant. And refined metals, now a federal Superfund says.
You have people that's dying. A lot of people are dying with cancer and other issues.
If you could explain the smell you experience when you step outside, what does it smell like?
Sometimes I wake up early in the morning, about 5 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I smell this awful scent in my home. I can't hardly breathe.
Just a few miles away on Florida Street, another concern for people in South Memphis. In August, the EPA told the city that sterilization services of Tennessee could be putting out hazardous fumes into the air. The plant uses a colorless, odorless gas called ethylene oxide, or ETO, to sterilize medical equipment. Caroline Freeman with the EPA says breathing it in over a long period of time could cause cancer.
This is a risk that if I'm exposed to it for, from the time I was born to maybe the age 70, that, I would have a greater chance of developing some form of cancer, may it be breast cancer or lung cancer.
Remember, many of the families in these neighborhoods have been here for generations. Less than a 2-minute drive away, the health department shut down this cotton gin on Mallory Avenue in December for permit violations and pollution concerns. Instead of smoke, cotton gins emit particulate matter, which is similar to dust and can get into people's lungs.
If the particle size is small enough, it can cause irritant into the airway and cause irritation in people's airway. It also can enhance those individuals that have lung issues.
Larry Hopper is a respiratory therapist at Baptist Memorial Hospital in Memphis. He said these kind of irritants can be unknown killers to people over time.
If you're born in it or you're raised in it and you have to stay in it a long periods of time, then you don't know. It becomes natural to you, so you don't know it's a problem.
Do you think that the people in these communities know something's wrong?
People may not know that they're being exposed to this particular cancer-causing carcinogen, but I guarantee you people know that something is wrong.
For Justin Pearson, anguish runs deep. He and his family grew up in the Westwood community near Boxtown. He lost both his grandmothers to cancer.
Because they didn't have a whole lot of money, because they weren't rich enough to live away from the pollution, their lives were deemed less valuable.
That's why Pearson founded the group Memphis Community Against Pollution by knocking on doors and sending out mailers. He's made it his mission to educate people about what's going on.
Those voids that are happening in our families, we can't fill those, but we can fight, and that's what we're doing now.
We're always ready to stand together for a fight for our neighborhood, Good God-fearing neighborhood.
As the sun sets on another day in Memphis, neighbors like Booker say they will rise to fight for cleaner air. And the EPA is working on a new rule to limit ETO emissions from commercial sterilizers like that one on Florida Street. Neighbors tell me the EPA getting involved is a start, but they want more community leaders to make sure the air is tested more often. I reached out to all of the companies we named in this story, including Sterilization Services of Tennessee. I wanted to ask what they are doing to limit ETO exposure to the community in the meantime, but an employee there told me they are not commenting on this situation. I also heard back from TVA. A spokesperson told me the Memphis coal plant operated for more than 50 years and was updated with environmental controls based on requirements at the time. And Darcy and Daryl, it was just so interesting to hear stories from these families. This is something they have been dealing with for generations.
Is it mind-blowing to anyone else that we're in the year 2022 and we still have this on such a scale?
Absolutely, it is. And we know that there's more stories out there. We heard from so many people who say that their families may be suffering from health effects because of this. And we want to hear more stories. We want to hear from you, the viewers. So if you think you've also been affected, if you would like to reach out, you can contact me. My contact information will be posted on this story on our website, fox13memphis.com.
Okay, thank you so much. That's a wonderful story. Can't wait to see more.
Smiles, hugs, and a whole lot of love. This video taken 2 weeks ago captures the last time these students at LYE Academy in Memphis saw Juanita Washington, the head administrator and beloved member of their studio.
My kids are going to come to practice feeling empty-hearted. I myself, as the owner, I'm having a hard time grasping this.
Washington was shot in her car at this Walgreens on South Perkins Road Wednesday afternoon and later died. A senseless act of violence, leaving the students and the studio's owner, Ladia Yates, heartbroken.
This is a horrible, horrible way to end 2021. This is the worst experience I ever encountered in my life.
Yates said Washington loved the academy and the kids so much, she never accepted payment.
And we will never get that type of love and support again. Like, nobody's going to be able to replace that. Like, we'll never be able to fill that void.
Yates now calling on community leaders and elected officials to do more to stop the violence that has led to a record 341 homicides and 300 murders this year in Memphis.
We need more community leadership. We need good leaders to step up and just create opportunities for these kids, pray for these kids.
As for Auntie Juanita, her legacy will forever live on at LYE. And Yates has a message for whoever took her away.
A lot of people in this city may get away with crime, but you won't, because you took away one of God's chosen people.
Box Allemande from Partita number 2. It's a beautiful but complicated piece. The movements make it difficult for even the most skilled violinists to master. But 13-year-old Cesar Sant's profound passion and deep emotion makes it look easy.
When I was born, I always wanted to play music.
Cesar started playing at age 2 and practices for 2 to 3 hours a day. On top of that, the gifted boy speaks 7 different languages.
God gave me this gift. I didn't pay anything, but God gave me this gift. It's so heavenly view.
Just by looking at him, you would never know the battle he's overcome. Cesar was diagnosed with sickle cell at birth and has suffered 3 strokes as a result.
I didn't feel so good, and getting sick was the worst thing that happened to me.
His father, Lucas Sant, said Cesar's last stroke almost caused permanent damage, and the young boy had to relearn how to walk. But even when he was in the hospital, Cesar did not stop playing the violin.
Last year he was in so much pain. He was not able to turn his body one side to the other side. The music saved his life. For real, not a catchphrase, it's for real.
In September, Cesar had a bone marrow transplant after discovering his younger sister was a close enough match to be his donor. Finally, anemia-free, the boy can continue to perfect his craft. He says his faith in God and music is what saved his life.
Music is the key thing. If you listen to music, you recover quickly. Thanks to God, if it was not a transplant, I would not be here.